Here I'm going to show you how you can link your Word document to an Excel workbook. In other words, in my Excel workbook I've got a bunch of data for my monthly sales that I want to pull over into my document here and link it to, so if anybody makes any changes to that Excel workbook, it'll automatically update and reflect those changes over here in my document. Okay. In fact, let me show you my Excel workbook. Let me come up here and click on the minimize button so I can minimize the document down to the taskbar so I can see my desktop. Because on my desktop I have my exercises folder. Let me double click to open that up. And there we go. There's my monthly sales document that I just minimized down to the taskbar, and there's my Excel workbook for monthly sales data. Double click to open that up in the Excel program, and you can see that I've got my sales for essential oils for the months of, well, April and May, not June, not yet, for the regions of North, South, and East. So to go ahead and bring that data over and insert it into my document here and link it back to the workbook so it can reflect any changes if somebody makes it in the workbook over here in the document, it's really simple. Come up here, click on the Insert tab, and go over to the text group, and there it is. Click on the Object button, or click on the drop-down arrow and click on the Object button there. They're both the same, it doesn't matter. Click on one. Opens up the Object window. Go ahead and click on Create from File and find that file. Click on the Browse button, and as you recall, it's on my desktop. There's the desktop. Over here in the main window, it's in the Exercises folder. Double-click, and there it is. Double-click on the file there. Now it's pointing right to it, and it'll pull in the data. Not only do I want it to pull the data over, but I want it to link it back to the Excel workbook. So again, changes made will reflect over here once I insert it into my document here. Click Okie dokie, and hey, that's it. So it pulled the data over, which is cool, but now let's test it. Let me go back to my Excel workbook and let's go ahead and type in the numbers here for June. When I'm done, be sure to save my work. Let's go back to the document. It doesn't automatically update it here if we have both of the documents open, you know, the Excel workbook and my monthly sales document here. But we can go ahead and right click on the object there that we inserted and go down to Update Link, and there you go. Updated it, reflects the changes that we made in the Excel workbook. Now you could say, well, why don't you just go back to the workbook and just print it here if that's all you're going to do? Well, I'm trying to keep it simple here, but think of it this way. Excel can perform complex calculations with functions and formulas, so do all the work you can with numbers in here, and if you need to make a presentation or this is part of a presentation or a handout, then, you know, go ahead and pull it into your document here, and you can have text below, graphs, charts, and all these things, and link it back to your Excel workbook. Because as you recall, when we went over tables, you know, creating a table, inserting a table, we can perform simple calculations within that table. We can add up, well, a column or a row and do average or the sum of the column or the row. But anything that's more complex or really complex that you can do in Excel, well, you can't do it in here. So again, do everything that's complex in Excel and then just go ahead and pull the numbers over here. Let me go ahead and right click on the button because as you recall my Windows 7 training video, for every window that you have open, you have a corresponding button down in your taskbar. Let me go ahead and right click on it and left click on Close. So now the Excel workbook is closed. So if I'm in my document and I'm like, oh, I need to make some changes here to the numbers. To open up that Excel workbook that this table is linked to or this object, you can do it one of two ways. You can either double click on it and it opens it up. Hey, great. Let's go ahead and make a change. Type in 1, click Save, close out, right click to go down to Update. It shows the 1. Cool. Also, it looks like it condensed a little bit just around the data here, which is nice. I don't get those extra empty cells there. The other thing you can do is you can right click and go down to Linked Worksheet Object. You can either edit it or open the link. Brings it up again, you know, make your change. This time it's 0. Go ahead and click Save, close out, and of course right click to update, and there's 0. Now here's what you want to keep an eye on, is that, let me double click to open up that Excel workbook that it's linked to, is that notice we've got 3 worksheets in our Excel workbook. It only pulls in the data on the first worksheet. So if I click and I drag this down to sheet 2, or behind sheet 2, now sheet 2 is the first sheet out of the 3 within the workbook, and I type in, you know, 1, hit enter, and I go ahead and click Save, and I close out. Of course, if I right click on this and I go to update the link, it only pulls in whatever's on the first worksheet, whatever worksheet's on top. So it does have some limitations here. Well, the other limitation, let me go ahead and hit undo here and double click to pull that back up, and let's move worksheet 2 by clicking and dragging it, and you can see I'm moving my little mouse pointer behind sheet 1 so it drops it. Now sheet 1 is the first one in our row of sheets here. And if I add some other numbers, like out here, and I've got another, well, let me go ahead and select this. and let me click and drag the border of it down here. So click and drag the border down here. So which one is it going to pull in? Let's go ahead and save, close out, right click, update. It pulls in everything. Oh no! In any case, what you want to do is also keep that limitation in mind as well. So let me go ahead and double click to open it back up. Let's delete everything here. And let's go ahead and unmerge these cells, which, by the way, I'm cruising through this pretty fast. If this seems new to you, what I'm doing, you want to watch my Excel 2010 training videos. Okay, so we're back to where we started. Okay, go ahead and click Save. And let's close out and let's right click to update. And look, it got rid of all that, but it still has all that extra white space there because we made some changes. Even though we deleted it, it's still capturing a large part of it, so I wouldn't go there. But it brings up a good point. What if you do have parts of the worksheet that you want to pull in, but not all of it? Well, let me go ahead and let's start over. Let's delete it, okay? And let's go ahead and open up that Excel workbook by coming down here to the exercises folder, so it brings up the window. Double click, open it up, and let's say I just want this portion of the workbook. Well, instead of inserting it as an object, just go ahead and select that portion, and then come up here on the Home tab, click on the Copy button, okay? Minimize that down to the taskbar. Let's go into our document, and let's go ahead and right click and go down to paste. You got some paste options. You can do a simple paste. You can actually do a link paste. You see the little chain right there, the link in a chain, just a single link. So you can link it and keep the source formatting, or you can link it and use the destination styles, okay? So if I go ahead and do that, it's linked, so any changes I make, let's see, it's 1191, let's go back here. 1191 and type in 1, hit enter, be sure to save my work. Go back to the document and let's right click and update. Hey, there you go. There's a way around it. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.